Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Students, today we are going to study history subject of 6th standard. Okay students, in history subject we are going to study lesson number 10th, that is ancient India culture. In this chapter we are going to study some of the important aspects of ancient India. For example, language and literature, life of the people of ancient India, science, center of education, and art and architecture. Okay students, so these things we are going to study in this lesson, that is ancient India culture. Okay students, before moving forward, first of all I would like to extend thanks to my students, subscribers, those who have shared it, liked it, commented below the video and subscribed my channel. Okay students, so without wasting time, let's get started. Students, first of all I would like to tell you that while explaining, I am going to explain some of the details so that you can understand properly. The details which are not given in your textbook, but it will help to understand the concept. So I am giving some extra knowledge here. So student, without skipping the video, observe, watch the video. Okay students, yes. So here first of all we are going to study, that is language and literature. Do you know what is language and what is literature? If you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Okay students, first of all I would like to tell you what is language. Students, language is one of the important sources of communication. With the help of language we can communicate with each other. If you want to express our ideas, thoughts, opinions, okay, then we use a source, that is language. Language is made up of sounds, letters, words and sentences. Okay students, all these things are very important in language. Without these aspects, language cannot be completed. Okay, so here language is used for the purpose of communication, expression. Okay students, and language can be used in two ways, oral and written. Okay, oral language and written language. Okay students, have understood this much? Now I would like to tell you about literature. Students, one of the important things is that language and literature both are interlinked, both are interdependent. How they are interdependent, I will tell you. First of all, I would like to tell you what is literature. Whatever is in written form is called literature. Okay student, but mostly it refers to the creative writing. Okay, for example, poem, drama, stories, fiction, novel, etc. Okay student, have you understood now? So mostly in literature we see a creative use of language. Okay students, without language we will not able to write any literature. Okay, and in literature we study language. So both are interlinked, interdependent. Okay students, have you understood now here what is language and what is literature? Okay students, there was an uninterrupted literary tradition in ancient India. Yes student, a lot of literature had written in ancient India. Okay student, a successive important literature had written in ancient India. This literature was written in the languages, that is Sanskrit, Ardhamagdi, Pali and Tamil. Okay student, so these languages were used to write the literature in ancient India. Sanskrit, Ardhamagdi, Pali and Tamil. Okay student, have you understood? It's very good. It included religious literature, treatises on grammar, epics, plays and stories. Okay student, so what do you mean by treatise here? A written word dealing formally and systematically with a subject. Okay student, it means that something is written on a particular subject very systematically. Okay, for example, grammar, epic, etc. Okay, student, have you understood? So student, this is about language and literature. Now we shall study Sangam literature. Yes student, do you know what is Sangam literature? Do you remember where we have studied about Sangam literature? Yes, in the 9th lesson, that is Ancient Kingdoms of the South. Okay, in this lesson we have studied about the Sangam literature. Okay, yes, if you remember, you can type your answer in the comment box. Students, historically, the Sangam literature is known as the poetry of noble ones. Okay, students, it signifies the Tamil literature. It signifies the ancient Tamil literature and is the earliest known literature of South India. Okay, students, have you understood now? So, this Sangam literature signifies the literature of noble people, as well as it is the earliest literature or earliest Asian literature of South India. Students, do you know what is Sangam then? Yes, if you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Students, here Sangam means a gathering of learned people, educated people or noble people. Just now I have told you that Sangam literature is related to noble ones. Okay, it means it is related to learned people. Okay, so Sangam means a gathering of noble men. Okay, and the literature which is compiled or written in such gatherings is known as Sangam literature. What is Sangam literature? Yes, the literature which is written in such gatherings is called Sangam literature. Students, one of the important thing is here that Silapadhikaram is one of the earliest Jain Tamil epic. Students, epic means, what do you mean by epics? Epics means a long poem specially derived from oral tradition. So here Silapadhikaram is one of the Jain Tamil long poems. Jain Tamil epics. It is a poem of 5730 lines. Yes student, it is too much long. Okay, so it is called as epic poem. Students, this poem, that is Silapadhikaram, is a tragic love story of an ordinary couple, that is Kanaki and her husband Kolan. Okay student, have you understood now? Very good. Students, now again one more example of an epic we are going to have, that is Mani Mein Khalai. Okay student, Mani Mein Khalai. Okay, this is again a long epic. It is also a Tamil epic written by Kulwanikar Shithalai Satnar. Okay students, it had written in around 6th century. Students, it is an anti-love story and a sequel to the previous epic, that is Silapadhikaram. Okay students, have you understood? So Manikha Malai is a sequel of Silapadhikaram. This epic consists of 4861 lines. Silapadhikaram and Mani Makhalai, these are the two well-known epics of Tamil literature. But besides these, there were 3 more epics which were very famous ones. Okay, that are Shivaliya Chintamani, Valayapathi and Kunda Lakshi. Okay students, in these Sangam literatures we can study or we can learn the political, social life of the people during that period. So students, we have learned about the Sangam literature. Now we will have some more information about the religious literature of ancient India. The important religious texts include Agamgranthas, Tipitika and Bhagavad Gita. So let's have more information about these texts. First of all, we shall study Jain Agamgranthas or Agamgranth. The Jain literature comprises Jain agamas and subsequent commentaries on them by Jain monks or ascetics. Students, commentaries means what? Narratives on the agamas. The Jain literature primarily divided between Digambara literature and Shvetambara literature. Yes, student. Then what do you mean by Digambara literature and Shvetambara literature? So let's have some information about it. Digambara is one of the major schools of Jainism and the other one is Shvetambara. Okay, student. Then what is Digambara? Digambara is a Sanskrit word and it means that sky clad. What do you mean by sky clad? Students, clad means clothed or dressed. Digambara means sky clad, referring to their traditional monastic practices of neither possessing or wearing clothes. Yes, students, have you understood now? Now, students, we will have some information about Shvetambara. The literal meaning of Shvetambara is white clad. Okay, students, it refers to the practice of wearing white clothes. Okay, students, have you understood now what is Digambara literature and Shvetambara literature? Okay, now students, do you know the Jain agamgranthas are written in Prakrit language such as Ardhamagdi, Saurasheni and Maharashtri. Or in these three languages, the Jain Ardhamagdi has written. Students, what is Prakrit? Prakrit means literally natural. The Agam Granthas are the collection of the teachings of Vardhaman Mahavir. Yes, students, who was Vardhaman Mahavir? Earlier we have studied Vardhaman Mahavir was the 23rd Tirthankar of Jain religion, as well as he was the founder of Jain religion. Okay, students, do you remember this one? Very good. Literary works like Mahapuranas, biographies, stories, etc. are available in Apabhransh language. Yes, students, what do you mean by Apabhransh language? Let's have information about the Apabhransh language. It is believed that most of the languages in the region from North India up to Maharashtra are derived from Prakrit and Sanskrit. The word Prakrit is derived from a word meaning natural. The Prakrit languages were languages in daily use of the people. They can be divided into four groups, namely the Paishachi, Saurasheni, Magadhi and Maharashtri languages. Marathi is developed from Maharashtri. In this process of the development of modern languages like Marathi from the Prakrit languages, their original forms changed. They are called Apabhransha languages. Modern languages have developed from Apabhransh languages. Apabhransh in Sanskrit means corrupt or non-grammatical, or we can say impure. In Jain literature, the writings of Siddhasen Divakar was also important. Students, he had written Samay Sutta in Prakrit language. This work is based on jurisprudence. What do you mean by jurisprudence? Jurisprudence means what? A philosophy on law. So, Siddhasen Divakar had written a book on philosophy of law. Students, do you know who was Siddhasen Divakar? Yes, Siddhasen Divakar was a Jain monk. He has written works or books on the philosophy of Jain religion. He lived in 5th century CE. He was like the illuminating lamp of the Jain philosophy and Jain order. So, he came to known as Divakar, that is mean as lamp maker. One of the eminent writers of Jain literature was Vimal Suri. He has told the story of Rama in Paumcharya. And Paumcharya is a poetic work based on Rama and written in Prakrit language. Haribhadra Suri's Samraich Chaka and Udyotan Suri's Kavyalam Malakha are well-known works. Students, here we had information about the Jain literature. Now we are going to study about some Buddhist literature. Okay students, in Buddhist literature we are going to study about Tipitak or Tripitak. Tipitak is a Pali word and Tripitak is a Sanskrit word. It is written in about 550 BC. Students, do you know what is Tipitak? Yes, if you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Tipitak is a traditional term for Buddhist scriptures. Yes student. Then what is meant by scriptures here? The religious writings other than Christianity is known as scriptures. So here Tripitak or Tripitak is a Buddhist scripture or is the term that is used for Buddhist scripture. It has 3 pitaks or parts. Okay students. Students, do you know what is pitaks or what is pitak? What do you mean by pitak? Pitaks means a basket or collection. Here pitak means a section, a part. Okay students. It is written in Pali language. Students, we all know that Lord Gautam Buddha had used Pali language to teach. It consists of 3 categories of texts. Each consists of 32 books. The first one, Sutta Pitika, second one, Vinay Pitika, and the third one, Abhidhamma Pitika. Okay students, so let's have some information about these Pitikas. Sutta Pitika includes Lord Gautam Buddha's teaching and it is a basket of discourse. Yes student, what is discourse here? Here discourse means written or spoken communication or debate. They are called suktas. Now we shall study Vinay Pitika. Students, Vinay Pitika means here rules. Okay student, so Vinay means rules. It gives the rules of behavior that the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis need to be followed or need to be implemented in their day-to-day life. So it tells how to behave. Okay student, it tells to bhikkhus and bhikkhunis how to behave in day-to-day life. Hence, it is called the basket of discipline. Now the last one, that is Abhidhamma Pitak. Yes student, it is called the basket of doctrine. Doctrine means a set of beliefs or ideologies. In this part, the Buddhist philosophy has explained. A text titled Arthakatha or Arthakatha, which explains the Tipitaks, is well known. The learned women composed the Gathas. Gathas means narratives of their own experiences. They have been composed in Theri Gatha and it is in Pali language. Okay students, so here we have studied about the Buddhist literature. Okay, earlier we have studied the Jain literature. Now we are going to understand something about Hindu literature. So first of all, we will have information about Bhagavad Gita. Yes students, it is well known literature of Hinduism. The sacred text of Hindu people is Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is a part of an important epic that is Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita often referred as Gita.
गीता पर हाथ रखकर कसम खाइए, मैं जो कुछ कहूंगा सच कहूंगा, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहूंगा। देखो भैया, ये है गीता। ओहो, भगवद गीता जी। ओहो, मैं गीता पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूँ, मैं जो कहूंगा सच कहूंगा, लेकिन झूठ तो मैं कभी बोलता ही नहीं साहब। अदालत की कार्यवाही शुरू की जाए।
The Gita is 700 verses Hindu's scripture that is a part of the great epic that is Mahabharata. The author of Mahabharata was Vyas, and the total verses in Mahabharata were about 2 lakhs. Gita or Bhagavad Gita tells us that each one of us should do our duty without expecting any reward.
लाभ और हानि की इस कामना में न भटको पार्थ, न भटको, केवल कर्म करो। कर्म कर्म तो अपने आप ही में पुण्य है, पवित्र है और समाज के लिए कल्याणकारी भी है। कर्म तो स्वयं ही अपना फल भी है पार्थ, परंतु यदि तुम समाज कल्याण के कार्य में स्वयं अपना हित मिला लोगे तो तुम्हारा वो कर्म अशुद्ध और अशुभ हो जाएगा। इसलिए हे पार्थ, निष्काम कर्म के मार्ग पर चलो, क्योंकि कर्म फल तो तुम्हारे वश में है ही नहीं। इसलिए केवल कर्म करो और कर्म फल की इच्छा न करो। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भूः माते
It says
संगोस्त्वा।
that the path of devotion of God is open to all. Okay, students? So here we had some information about Bhagavad Gita. Now we shall study about Adi Shankaracharya. Yes, student, who was Adi Shankaracharya and what was the period of Adi Shankaracharya? The period of Adi Shankaracharya was 700 CE to 750 CE. It means he lived during the period of 8th century. He was an Indian philosopher and theologian. What do you mean by theologian, student? Theologian means a person who studies systematically the nature of divine and more broadly the religious beliefs. Students, he emphasized knowledge and renunciation. Yes, what do you mean by renunciation? Renunciation means rejection of something formally. He wrote commentaries explaining the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, and he established 4 matas in 4 directions of India at Badrinath, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, and Sringeri. So, it is about Adi Shankaracharya. Now, we shall study about Kautilya. Yes, student, Kautilya. Who was Kautilya? Chanakya. Chanakya was referred as Kautilya. So, we will have some information about Kautilya, that is Chanakya. The period of Kautilya was 375 BCE to 283 BCE. Yes, student, we have studied about Chanakya or Kautilya in the Maurya period. Okay, he assisted Chandragupta Maurya to establish the Maurya Empire. Okay, student, he had very important role. He had very important role in establishing the Maurya Empire. So, he had assisted to Chandragupta Maurya as well as he assisted or he became the advisor of the son of Chandragupta Maurya, that is Bindusara. Chanakya was an ancient philosopher, teacher, jurist, economist and royal advisor. Chanakya authored the ancient Indian political treatise, that is Arthashastra. Arthashastra. This is a work by Kautilya. It consists of detailed discussion of administrative matters such as the duties of king, criteria for selecting a minister, system of defense, types of forts, the formation of an army, plans for espionage, organization of the treasury and other offices, judicial system, investigation of theft, types of punishment, etc. So this was about Kautilya, that is Chanakya. Students, now we will study about some treatises on grammar. First of all, we will study about Ashtapadi. Yes, students, now we shall study some treatises on grammar. Okay, first of all, we will study Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi is written by Panini. Panini is the famous Indian grammarian. He has written a standard grammars of Sanskrit. Panini was an ancient Sanskrit philologist. Yes, student. Philologist means a person who studies the language in oral and written form. The Ashtadhyayi is the central part of Panini's grammar. It is one of the oldest linguistic and grammar text. It is about Ashtadhyayi. Now student, we shall study one of the works written by Patanjali, that is Mahabhasha. Mahabhasha is written by Patanjali. Patanjali is one of the three major and famous ancient grammarians, other two being Panini and Katyayana. Mahabhasha is a commentary on selected rules of Sanskrit grammar of Panini's treatise. Ashtadhyayi is an elaboration of Panini's grammar. It explains the principles in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Now students, we shall study Arsha and classical epics. Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two Arsha epics of ancient India. Arsha means composed by rishis or sages. The Ramayana was composed by the rishi Valmiki. The main character of Ramayana is Sri Ram. Mahabharata has been composed by the sage Vyas. Its main theme is the war between the Kauravas and Pandavas. It also tells us about Lord Krishna's life. The Mahabharata provides a comprehensive picture of various human sentiments and emotions and their consequences. Sometimes there is such a period in the history of language, literature, and art that its glory remains undiminished. Even later on, the art, literature, etc., produced in such a period is said to be classical. Raghuvansha and Kumar Sambhava by Kalidasa, Kiratarjunia by Bharvi, and Shishupal by Magha are well-known compositions of the ancient period written in classical Sanskrit. Now students, we shall have some information about Indian theatre. India has an ancient tradition of telling a story through songs, music, and dance. These arts have been discussed in the great detail in the Natya Shastra by Bharat Muni. When these arts are presented with supporting dialogues, they are known as theatre. Among the ancient Sanskrit plays, Swapnavasav Vadatta by Bhasha, Abhidanan Shakuntala by Kalidasa, etc. are famous. Now we shall study narrative literature. In the ancient times, storytelling was used to educate people through entertainment. Gunadhya's Brihat Katha, written in a language called Paishachi, is well-known Panchatantra composed by Pandit Vishnu Sharma, is an excellent example of narrative literature. This text has been translated into many languages. Similarly, Baudh Jatak tales are also very well known. Okay students, have you understood this much? Very good. So students, today we have studied language and literature. In language and literature, we have studied what is Sangam literature. After Sangam literature, we have studied the religious literature. In religious literature, we have studied Jain agamgranthas, Buddhist Tipitaks and Bhagavad Gita, as well as we had some information about Adi Shankaracharya and Kautilya and Arthashastra of Kautilya. After this, we have studied treatise on grammar and Alsha and classical epics. Okay, student. So this much we have studied today. In the next video, we are going to study the rest part of this chapter. Okay, student. Then, if you want to study more, then be connect with me. Students, if you have liked this video, like it, share it, comment below the video, and do not forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will get current notification of new videos. Thank you. Be connected.